Aliana Haig, a fellow volunteer and a friend of mine, already knew the benefits of creative expression. After some time assisting with boat arrivals from Turkey and teaching English, she started to realise this need for a safe space for creative expression. She was already connecting with people on their creative interests, and she started to discover the sheer amount of talent that was being hidden and wasted away in horrible camps. This is when she took the plunge, and with the help of volunteers like myself, and of course some generous funders, she opened the very first Chaos Creative Centre, otherwise known as the beloved CCC. Through art, music and dance classes, the CCC provided a space where you could forget your life as a refugee and just be a person. A person who loved to sing, to draw, to dance. A person who loved to teach, to learn, to create. A person who was free to express themselves. One of the most beautiful moments at the CCC was actually on its opening day. A jam session had broken out with drums, guitars, singing, when a transsexual person who had fled from Basra, Iraq due to his sexual identity stood up and began to belly dance. What was so special about this was that the room was mainly filled with heterosexual men from countries like Iraq that persecuted against his sexual identity. But they stood up, they cheered, they applauded, and they encouraged others to do so. There was so much happiness in the room that day, and it was really magical to see how dance and music was used to connect. And wow, I've really never seen anyone shake that well. From day one, the CCC provided a space where you could feel comfortable to express exactly who you were. And it really set a precedent for the positive vibe at the CCC. See, beautiful moments like this happen all the time during my volunteering. When I look back at my time there, I always remember dancing. From the Syrian dabke, Iraqi kaliya, Kurdish kamanji, and even salsa. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about dance. See, dancing and movement has so many benefits, far greater than having a night out with your friends. One of the more obvious ones is the endorphins that are released while dancing. But more than that, when you dance with others, you build connection, and your brain starts to feel like it's a part of something bigger. For refugees who may be going through loneliness and isolation, this feeling is just so valuable. Dancing means connection, and to me, connection and feeling a part of something is one of the core foundations to happiness. So I spoke with some of the regular visitors to the CCC and I asked them what they thought art, music and dance did for them during their time in Chaos. And I really got some lovely responses back. So I wanted to share with you one today. So this one comes from a fighter, one of the strongest people I know, smart, funny, a storyteller. He would often remind me that he spent over half his life as a refugee. Born in Baghdad, Iraq, when he was a young teen, his mother decided it was too dangerous for her family there and they fled to Jordan. In Jordan, they were granted asylum in America, a dream come true. But when he was 18, he got news from back home that his father, who was still in Iraq, had been shot, and he decided to go back and look after him. But what he didn't realize at the time was that he'd overstayed the amount of time being allowed from America, and he forfeited his asylum. So 10 years on, his two brothers and his mother are living the American dream in Chicago, while he is still fighting the asylum system here in Europe. So in his words, he says, art, music and dance was freedom. It took us away from the bad conditions and helped us find that emotional feeling that we could not explain in words, but instead we explain about it through music, dance and art. And of course, I cannot forget the fun I had with my best friends. The CCC was absolutely showing us colour in the darkest days. See, trauma and pain does not just exist in the mind, but it builds up in the body to places that you cannot reach through words alone. Through dancing and movement, we provide a tool to tap into that trauma, work through pain, and express emotions without the need to tell people your stories or try to articulate the way that you feel. Instead, you can begin to heal through the power of dance. See, this doesn't surprise me because when we sing, especially in a group like this, endorphins start to flow, we build connection, and our mind becomes present in the moment. Being present is one of the most important and successful tools for freeing your mind from stresses and troubles, and it's directly linked with emotional and mental well-being. So now, I'd like everyone's minds to come back to this city, back to this room, and back to the now. In London, I work for the Bike Project, which you may have noticed was the project that donated Hakim the bike in a previous video. So we're a charity that refurbishes unwanted bikes and we donate them to refugees in the UK. Now, we all know how expensive travel costs in London. And while going through an asylum claim, you are given £37 a week to live off. So a bike provides a free means of transport for refugees so they can access support services, maybe for free clothes, free food, maybe just to see friends and families and go to college. And of course, there are many physical and emotional benefits to cycling, which I'm sure all the cyclists in the room will agree with. But yeah, in addition to bike donations, the Bike Project, we have a cycle befriending project called Bike Buddies. We have a second-hand bike shop where we sell second-hand bikes and we put the profits back into the project. And we also teach refugee women how to cycle in a program called Pedal Power. So today, through the Kiosk Creative Centre and the JRS Gospel Choir, I have shown projects that utilise creative outlets as a tool to improve the quality of life of refugees who may be going through immense trauma and suffering. There are over 150,000 asylum seekers and refugees here in the UK who need support, who need to integrate, and who deserve happiness. Although traditional support services are important, we need more projects using the language of creativity to talk between practitioner and patient or service and client, because it will improve the chances for refugees to integrate, to connect, and that will begin to pave the road for them having a normal life again. Thank you.